Evermist was a village cloaked in silence. The people there were kind, but their faces were often creased because of their unease. It stood upon the cliffs, a lonely sentinel overlooking the crashing waves. It was the lighthouse, but the villagers called it the Whispering Tower.
The tower is ancient, its stone weathered by countless storms. Legends spoke of shipwrecks and lost souls, their voices trapped within the tower walls.
They say there's a magical lantern hidden inside, one that can grant wishes, but the price of such magic is steep.
Many had braved the tower's shadows, seeking the lantern's power. None had returned the same. Some came back hollow-eyed, whispering of terrible bargains. Others never returned at all, their fates as uncertain as the shifting mists that gave the village its name. Mira was different. A girl of 12, she lived with her grandfather in a cottage on the edge of the marshes. Her heart was filled with a yearning for adventure, her head full of stories whispered by the wind. Mira wasn't afraid of the Whispering Tower. She was drawn to it.
I've heard the villagers' tales, felt their fear. But I also sense a deep sadness coming from the tower. It's a sadness that resonates with the compassion in my own heart.
She believed that the tower held not just danger, but also a mystery waiting to be solved. One night, beneath a sky full of stars, Mira made a decision. She packed a bag with a rope, a lantern, and a warm cloak. Her grandfather was asleep, his chest rising and falling with each peaceful breath.
I have to help them, Grandpa.
The path to the tower was treacherous, the air thick with salt spray. Mira climbed, her small hands gripping the rocks. The wind howled like a mournful beast trying to deter her. But Mira pressed on. She was afraid, yes, but her courage burned brighter than the fear.
Finally, I reached the tower's heavy wooden door. It creaked open, revealing a spiral staircase that disappeared into darkness.
Mira took a deep breath and stepped inside. The air was cold and damp, heavy with the smell of the sea and something else. Something ancient and unsettling. Up she climbed, past walls etched with strange carvings. They seemed to writhe and shift in the flickering light of her lantern.
Soft, eerie whispers, help us, find us, free us.
Whispers followed her, faint and mournful, like pleas for help lost to the wind. Mira's hand tightened around her lantern. She wouldn't let fear turn her back. The climb seemed endless, but at last, Mira reached the top of the tower. There, in the center of a circular room, hung the lantern. It pulsed with an eerie green light, casting dancing shadows on the walls.
Help us, please, let us out.
As Mira approached, the shadows solidified, taking on grotesque, almost human forms. These were the trapped souls, the villagers who had sought the lantern's power. They reached for Mira with pleading eyes, their voices ragged whispers of regret.
Wealth, power, love, we wished for it all. But the cost, oh, the cost.
They told her of their wishes, their desires for wealth, for power, for love. But each wish had come at a terrible cost, trapping them within the lantern's grasp.
Beware, child. The lantern's power is a double-edged...
Listened to their stories, her heart filled with a profound sadness. These were not evil souls, just lost and desperate ones, consumed by their desires. She understood then that the true curse of the lantern wasn't the price it demanded, but the darkness it ignited within the hearts of those who sought its power. Mira stepped forward, her hand hovering over the lantern. She could wish for anything, riches beyond imagination, adventures in faraway lands. But she had learned from the shadows' mistakes. Their sorrow had shown her the folly of selfish desires.
I wish for the shadows to be free, released from their prison of regret.
Closing her eyes, Mira made her wish. The lantern flared, bathing the room in blinding light. Then silence. Mira opened her eyes. The shadows were gone. The lantern hung still, its light a gentle, comforting beacon. Mira descended the tower, her heart lighter than it had ever been. They greeted Mira with awe and gratitude. The whispers were gone, replaced by a newfound hope. The lighthouse was no longer a symbol of fear, but a reminder of courage, selflessness, and the enduring power of a pure heart.